Greetings. So you may be wondering, if I become a war tax resister and refuse to pay some or all of my federal income taxes, what are the most likely actions the IRS may take? The first one is, if you happen to file and refuse to pay some part of your federal income taxes, is you'll receive a lot of letters. The IRS will send you many computer-generated letters that'll start off with essentially kind of, you forgot to pay, you have till this date to pay, to if you don't pay, we might garnish your wages, levy your bank account, take away your passport. You may or may not qualify for those things to even happen to you, but you'll get letters threatening those types of actions. The second thing is, once you hit around the $25,000 mark of debt, they're pretty good at sending out a notice of a public lien to your local county courthouse. The most practical effect of this is, if you had a home and you were selling it, the person who's purchasing your home is probably getting a loan through a bank, and before that bank gives you the money, they would check to see if you have any debts against you at the local county courthouse, and if they saw the IRS had a notice of a public lien against you, the IRS would get kind of their first cut, and then you'd get the remainder. Otherwise, we haven't seen that affect people when it comes to doing things like purchasing a home, or basically anything else that you might do in your regular daily activity of purchasing and selling items. The third common thing that they're very good at doing is, once you have what they consider a seriously delinquent tax debt, and this goes up every year with inflation, but for tax year 2025, a seriously delinquent tax debt is $64,000. At that point, the IRS will alert you that they've alerted the State Department to no longer allow you to renew or get a new passport. If you currently have a passport, you can continue using it until it is expired, but after that expires, you won't be able to get a new passport until you pay off your tax debt. And the final common action taken by the IRS is, if you're on Social Security, well, this was common at least before COVID. If you're on Social Security or getting on Social Security and you have a federal income and have a federal tax debt, they can easily take, without much paperwork on their end, 15% of your Social Security check each month. That's been pretty standard, but with COVID and now the cuts with Trump, we haven't seen that happening much or at all since 2020. I would expect that at some point they'll get on board again with going after folks and getting 15% of their Social Security, but at this point it's not happening. And lastly, this isn't common, but I'm sure it's in people's minds when it comes to things like a bank levy or a wage garnishment. The IRS doesn't publish kind of when they would do these things, but in reality, it seems in most instances, once you hit that $25,000 mark, it's more likely that they might do that to you, but it's not very common. Even with all the people in our network that we know that have a tax debt over $25,000, most of them do not get levied or have wage garnishments on any sort of regular basis. It can be easily a decade or more since most longtime resistors have had any action like that happen to them, and with the current cuts at the IRS, we only expect that to become even less common. Again, before you take the action to refuse to pay your federal income taxes, when that time rolls around in early 2026, please go to our website, which you can find in our bio. All of our resources are available on our website for free. Kind of explore, look at your own situation, what the risks are with what you might be considering. We want to make sure that you go into the situation with your eyes completely open and knowing what the possible risks could be. Again, thank you for your interest in war tax resistance.